Let's move things on because we spent a bit of time on those two games. Let's go to Old Trafford. Always a story. Ruben Amorim with his team getting beat last week against Brentford. A lot of spotlight on whether he'd keep his job, whether he had to win to keep his job. The news seemingly coming out of Manchester United that he's fine, he's safe. Obviously, we're not happy with things, but we want him to continue. He got a win, Rob. He got a 2-0 win. Yep. 2 goals early. Mason Mount was a big decision. Dropped Cunha to the bench, put Mount in. Mount scored a lovely goal. Chesko gets 2 and 2, which can only do him some good. I thought it was one of his better games in the red of Manchester United. Looked more like a centre forward, and they got people closer to him, Rob. So it looked a little bit more joined up. He got his win. I think it's the first clean sheet of the season. They got Lamens in goal for his first Premier League start. A lot of good things, I thought, for United. And a little bit hanging on it at the end. I mean, could have been, I thought, a penalty kick as it Traore went down on Lamens' challenge, which he got a yellow card for simulation, which is one of the most incredible things I've ever seen. But they hung on. They played decent football. There was more control. And I was thinking, Rob, about Mrs. Amorim, who must be enjoying a Sunday roast today.
Finally. She hasn't enjoyed many Sunday roasts, has she?
She hasn't enjoyed many Sunday roasts at all, but hopefully she's in a country pub somewhere in Manchester, enjoying a nice Sunday roast and a glass of red wine and enjoying Manchester, because there haven't been too many days when I don't think that's happened in the Amorim household.
Yeah, fair play. Sunderland at home, no drama. They get the goals. Your expensive striker, $99 million striker, scores a nice goal, tucks it away quite nicely. My only little gripe, and there's no gripe now when they get the result.
The win and the put,
And Mason Mount scores a goal. So I'm just gonna, I do want to see Cunha and Burmo and Šeško. I do want to see that. Don't tell me that the manager will feel that they can't afford to, it's too attacking to have all 3 players out there. That's where the money was spent. Like, don't tell me we're not going to, you're going to have an expensive forward on the bench where there's other parts of the team that needed investment, needed upgrading, centre midfield, goalkeeper, right wing back.
I hear you, Rob, but might his position be, and listen, we've all said about the system and fitting players in, but might his position be, you know what, we're not quite structured enough to play those two, so one of those two will play, and Mason gives me a bit more defensive structure, stability, maybe when we haven't got the ball. And I know what you're saying. We want to see United attack. Yeah. But if that means we're going to lose games and I've got to make a tough call on this early on,
okay,
I don't know, from now till Christmas, it's either one or the other of those two. They can fight for a place with a big lad. And, Mason's going to play as long as he's playing a part. I don't know. I'm just saying, to play devil's advocate, listen, if those two were playing and we're talking about another defeat, mate, we could be talking about the guy's job, never mind whether we like seeing him or not.
Well, to your point, the game before against Brentford, the front 3 did play. Yeah. So maybe didn't like the defensive kind of compactness with those. I don't know, and maybe it's irrelevant.
I know what you mean. I suppose Cunha hasn't scored yet, has he? Which we know he's a quality player. Yeah. When the team's playing better, I get you. Bruno would want him higher, but I think sometimes we're going to make a couple of tough calls, and maybe one of those is one of the two underneath it. I'll rotate him if there's enough games, enough competition, and if you're scoring, you stay in the team. If you don't, maybe we change it out, but. No, I think it's a great win for them prior to a break. The noise can drop a little bit. He can concentrate on working with some of the players who are obviously not on international duty. And they line themselves up to a particularly decent game at Liverpool when we get back.
So, I look forward to that. Up to 10th in the Premier League table, Rob. And it's worth a little pause now as we go into an international break. And that's a good chunk of the games. It's a good start after 7. I just want to get a quick line on just expectations of Man United, Rob. What's acceptable, what's not, in terms of finishing positions, where they're going to be hovering around, where they're going to be spending their time in this table. What's going to be acceptable for the manager to sort of for the ownership or the fans to feel like we're going in the right direction now. We're up to 10th. Have they got to be getting up to around the top 6, or is between 6th and 10th okay, Rob, for the fans and for the ownership?
I like 8. I like 8 and up. Okay. and I love between 8 and 4.
Yeah.
I think 8 and 4 is the next
which isn't amazing,
logical step.
I think it's realistic.
A good proper step. And then from there, we think about, okay, how do we start to break back into that top 4? I mean, that'll bring European football, which is important to Manchester United at whatever level that is. And I'm sure, we know they want to be in Champions League, but that might be a little way down the road.
Yeah.
But I think 8 and above, Rob, and some consistency.
Yeah.
I think putting some back-to-back wins and showing
like it's going in the right direction.
Yeah. Then I think everything feels better that way. And the other just thing, Rob, and it can't be easy being Ruben Amorim, to be fair, since he's taken over the football club last year and the start of this. There's an honesty about him, Rob, that I like.
Yeah, I do too.
There's an honesty that I know sometimes he says the headline things and maybe he says the wrong things, but there's an honesty and he wants to get this thing right and he wants to be successful.
He cares about it.
That comes out. Yeah, he cares. And I think that's important. So, good win.
Good Sunday roast for Mr. and Mrs.
Sunday
Amorim.
roast for Mr. and Mrs. Amorim. Away you go.
Brilliant.
Hi there, I'm Rebecca Lowe, studio host of NBC's coverage of the Premier League. Don't forget to hit subscribe to watch more videos all season long. And for even more Premier League content, from original series to live matches, head over to Peacock.